is 1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here's the news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Ramesh Piris. First, the headlines. The leader of the House says there will be no harm for the detainees who are in custody. A new bank is to be formed joining all cooperative banks. The Cabinet has decided not to increase fuel prices. The Private Bus Owners Association says that bus fares will not be increased. The largest gem cluster found in Ratnapura is added to the Guinness Book of Records. And in news overseas, US President sanctions Russia over beginning of invasion. Now the local news in detail. The Leader of the House, Dinesh Gunawardena, said in Parliament that there will be no room for any harm for the lives of people who are in custody. Accordingly, the government will not act with a mindset of revenge or causing threat for any official. He made these remarks to a question raised by the opposition leader Sajith Premadasa. State Minister Lasantha Alagiyawana says that a draft bill will be prepared to begin a new bank joining all cooperative banks. He made this remark to a question raised by parliamentarian Shanta Bandara that measures will be taken to distribute essential goods through cooperative societies as well. Meanwhile, Minister Uday Gammanpilla said that the Cabinet has decided not to increase fuel prices. The last fuel increase was implemented on December last year, and during that period, the fuel prices in the world market has increased by 37%. He said $500 million is being spent for the import of fuel per month. Answering a question raised by parliamentarian Mohammed Musamel, Minister Gammanpilla said no fuel ship has been sent back so far. Parliamentarian Rohana Bandara said that there is a shortage in several goods, including cement. State Minister Lasantha Alagiyawana said that measures have been taken to avoid the shortage in cement and milk powder. The chairman of the Private Bus Association, Gamanu Vijayratna, says that bus fares will not be increased, although the fuel prices will increase once again in future. He also pointed out the importance of fuel price revision with a proper system for common transport services. He told the SLBC that relevant proposals in this regard have already been directed to the Ministry of Transport by the association. The Ministry of Energy says that the payment of $35.3 million was made last night to the Singaporean company for the diesel tanker docked outside the Colombo port. This cargo ship is carrying 37,500 metric tons of diesel. The Ministry of Energy stated that unloading the stocks is expected to begin soon. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with more local news, a program to provide 100,000 land deeds for Mahaveli dwellers under the Waris Saubhagya program is being implemented. To symbolize the program, the land deeds for the people in the Mahaveli region will be carried out under the patronage of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa at the Embilipitiya Public Grounds on Saturday. Minister Chamal Rajapaksa and State Minister Siripala Gamnath will participate at the event. This program will be implemented island-wide in order to provide land deeds for the people who do not have no permanent deeds for their lands. Sri Lanka Hadabima Authority has implemented a program to distribute all varieties of trees in order to increase the density of trees in the country. The authority has expanded their task to prevent the soil erosion and the landslides. Chairman of the authority, Amarananda Veerasinghe, said that the authority has implemented several programs including wetland management, conservation of water resources, home garden cultivation and organic fertilizer production to increase the agricultural economic development in the country. And that ends local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhaloka Vedamahatmya.
The gem cluster, which was found a few months ago from the Kahavatta area in Ratnapura, is added to the Guinness Book of Records. The gem cluster weighed 510 kilos. In history, a cluster of gems of this type has not been added to the Guinness Book of Records. This has been identified as the world's largest gem and has become renowned in the world. Consequently, the country has gained an immense reputation due to the find. A group of members representing the Guinness Committee arrived in Ireland recently. The Guinness report will be presented this evening with the participation of the chairman of the gem and jewellery industry, Tilak Veerasinghe, and other high-ranking officials. The value of the gem cluster is estimated at 20 billion rupees. At present, the gem cluster is placed in Switzerland. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhaloka Vedamahatmya.
This is Watchlight.
In Watchlight, the people in Rathgamma area is questioning about the completion of construction work of the fish market being constructed at Rathgamma Weekly Fair. The trade complex is comprised with 9 stalls and has not been completed yet. They request the relevant authorities to complete the construction work of the fish market soon. This is for the attention of the chairman of the Rathgamma Pradesh Sabha. And that came to you in Watchlight. A bulletin of world news follows.
Coming up, world news.
Moving on to the bulletin of world news, first the headlines. The US President sanctions Russia over beginning of invasion. The US Secretary cancels talks with Lavrov. The UN Chief says people must come first during pandemic recovery. And now the world news in detail. The US has hit Russia with wide-ranging sanctions over what President Joe Biden called the beginning of a Russian invasion of Ukraine. They've cut off Russia's government from Western financing, Mr. Biden said. It came after Russian politicians authorized President Vladimir Putin to send troops into 2 rebel-held parts of Ukraine earlier. Russia has recognized the regions as independent, a move Ukraine said attacks its sovereignty. Western nations largely see the action as a pretext for a wider invasion. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken says he has cancelled plans to meet with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov in Geneva on Thursday. Blinken met reporters yesterday after talks with Ukraine's Foreign Minister Dmitry Kuleba in Washington. Blinken said now that we see the invasion is beginning and Russia has made clear its wholesale rejection of diplomacy, it does not make sense to go forward with the meeting at this time. The top diplomats was due to discuss the date and format of a possible summit between US President Joe Biden and Russian President Vladimir Putin. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres said people must be at the center of post-pandemic recovery at the meeting that started yesterday to examine the economic and social impact of the crisis. Although COVID-19 caught the world unprepared, we cannot let this happen again, he said in a video message to the Global Forum for a Human-Centered Recovery, organized by the International Labour Organization. The 3-day forum is being held online, bringing together world leaders, head of international organizations and representatives of employers and workers groups from around the world. Back to the headlines of the world news. The US President sanctions Russia over beginning of invasion. The US Secretary cancels talks with Lavrov. The UN Chief says people must come first during pandemic recovery. And that concludes the bulletin of world news.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take coal out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
State Minister Vidura Vikramanayake says that necessary measures are underway to name the Ampara Rajakala archaeology premises as a national heritage. A discussion in this regard was held at the State Ministry of National Heritage Performance and Rural Artist Promotion between the Department of Archaeology and the Sri Javatanapura University. And that was Development News.
Development News was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928. Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Moving on to sports, it's cricket. The National Super League Cricket Tournament organised by the Sri Lanka Cricket Institute will be held tomorrow. The teams Jaffna, Kandy, Galle, Dambulla and Colombo will participate in the tournament. At the first round, each team will play 4 matches with opposing teams. The final matches of the tournament will be held on the 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th of April at the Galle International Stadium. Meanwhile, the National Sports Council will implement an encouragement program for selected athletes and coaches under the High Performance Program. Targeting the 2024 and 2028 Olympic Games, the National Sports Council has recommended the implementation of an encouragement program to provide financial sponsorship for Sri Lankan athletes. And that was Sports News.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022, remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U-Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Madhura Freeland Enterprises Company has won 2 awards for skilled industrial excellence. They have won Platinum Awards for Industrial Excellence and Gold Awards for the Best Spices in the medium and large-scale business field. The 2022 National Excellence Awards ceremony was held recently. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U-Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
A program to cultivate chili products locally will be initiated by next year. At present, 200 acres of land in Navalapitiya Grama Seva division has already been selected to cultivate chilies. A training program for farmers will commence on chilies production soon. The annual requirement of chilies in the country is at 50,000 metric tons. And that was Economic News.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
The Weather Report.
Moving on to the weather report, the Met Department says that several spells of showers will occur in the eastern and Uva provinces and in Nuwara, Matale and Hambantota districts. A few showers are likely in the northern and north-central provinces. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the western and Sabaragama provinces and in Galle and Matara districts during the evening or night. And that was the weather report. And to end this news broadcast, a recap of the main news headlines. The leader of the House says that there will be no harm from the detainees who are in custody. A new bank is to be formed, joining all cooperative banks. The Cabinet has decided not to increase fuel prices. The Private Bus Owners Association says that bus fares will not be increased. The largest gem cluster found in Ratnapura is added to the Guinness Book of Records. And in news overseas, US President sanctions Russia over beginning of invasion. And that concludes this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.